Hi there, this is Martin Shipperton and this is Content Marketing using Google+. And the first stage that we're going to be looking at is listen. And I'm going to tell you how I use Google+ to listen. And that might mean that I go off and start imagining a few things because there is a process that I use. The first thing I do is I use the stream and I start to see what is being talked about when. And for instance, if you have particular meme days, so memes are units of thought or behaviour that replicate throughout a culture. And what that means is that certain days on Google+, there are certain memes. And there are packets of information. So some days it could be like Star Wars Tuesday, which is a great day to be getting involved in. Other days it could be Wordless Wednesday, or it could be Cat-a-Day. But all of these days mean that people are having conversations around those topics on those particular days. So if you align your content to that, which we'll come on to, that means that you are getting involved in those conversations. So the first thing to do before you even do that is to listen, to start to understand what memes are going on or what meme days are going on. This is just one area. The next thing to be looking at is what are the general trends on a specific day. So that's a little different to the memes. The memes are usually, well, the meme days, they're usually regular days that appear and appear again. And what you'll find is that the trends are often related to a day, a week, or what have you. So it could be Thanksgiving or it could be Valentine's Day, but all of those things trend. Now, because Google Plus allows you to jump on those trends, it's important that you sort of understand the system and understand that happens. And that's the same with using Twitter, is that people will use hashtags in order to bring content together. So that's another aspect you can use in relation to listening. Then, it depends on where you are with growing your network. Your network, and this is a key thing which I'm going to try and explain the best I can. Your content and your network rise together. So if you're posting images of cats all the time, then your network is going to be of people who like cats, because otherwise they're not going to add you back, they're certainly not going to be interacting with you. So if you're posting business content all the time, then that means that your network is largely going to be built around business and how you approach it. So it really does depend on what your outcomes are. But the listening stage is just realise that the people that you add in and the people that you're following, if you want them to be engaging with you, then make sure they're the right people that you're listening to, because they're the ones that really you want to be having conversations with. So a large part of this is about you building your network, which I know if you're not on Google+, you're going to think, no, I've got another social network to do. It's like it, but it really is worthwhile because Google+ is Google. Okay, so there's another thing that I do when I'm just going out and listening, which is I use Google Search. And in particular, I use google.com and personalised search, and I'll just search for topics. I could do this within Google Plus as well, and I could filter by my circles if I wanted to and start to drill down there. But I use Google Search and I just go, what is being talked about? What is happening in relation to these subject matters? Now, I don't tend to look at competing on particular keywords. I don't try and say, right, I'm going to go after that one because that person's there. I just go out and find out what conversations are happening. Then, because I mentioned keywords, even though keywords are not as important to me as maybe they used to be, they are still important. And what I tend to do is go to my Google AdWords account, and even though I don't do paid advertising at the moment, I do a search and to find out essentially who is searching for the content that I could be writing about. And that's the same as I've done for the last 12, 13 years. I used to use Overture as a system prior to using Google Keywords tool, and that has worked really well for listening. Is there a conversation going on, or potentially, is there a potential conversation? That's a better way of looking at it. Are people looking for the thing that you're looking to write about? Now, it's not the be-all and end-all, and that your network, because it arises with your content, you can actually shape and form what people are engaging around. but it's still important. There's something else I do in relation to listening using Google+, and that's I listen to people who are talking in events. And these are usually Google events, Google Hangouts, Hangouts on Air. That gives me ideas. So I also find out, and I think we need this, we need to get our ideas challenged. And this is a way of me watching what other people are saying, and I can then adjust and come up with ideas based upon their perspective. So I think that's a really important aspect of listening. And I use Hangouts with a group of people on a daily basis. So I have different Hangouts that are set up that are ways of me connecting with, whether it be business or whether it be personal development, and some friends that I spend most of my days with. We're all together using this technology, using the Google Hangouts, in order to bounce stuff around. And that allows me, once again, to get different perspectives. Because without those different perspectives, we tend not to get on new ideas. So I find that a very useful thing about using Google Plus to listen. So all in all, you've got lots of ways that you can be looking at. And you've got the ability to look at the meme days on Google Plus, to look at trends, to look at who's in your network and what they're talking about, what they relate to. Using Google Search then, or search within Google Plus, to filter down and to find what people are chatting about. Also then you've got the events, you've got Google Hangouts, and I must stress this, I still use Google Keyword Tool a lot, just to give me a little focus and to see how many people are already looking for a particular subject matter. So there we go. This is Martin Shervington, and that was the first module on listening on this particular program. So click the annotations and that will take you to the next stage.